Hello. Let's look at this example. All right, we're going to look at the distance formula. We want to find the distance between 2 points on the rectangular coordinate system. Okay, so let's look at this graphically, and then we're going to talk about a formula for the distance. So 6, 4, if we graph it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 4, it's right here. And 2, 1 is right here. Right, and basically we want to find the distance between these 2 points. Okay? The best thing to do is to make a rectangle out of this. Not a triangle, a right triangle. So because the points are sort of diagonal from each other, it's not easy to just sort of count how far they are. So we're going to sort of draw a horizontal line that brings us right underneath that top point, and then we're going to connect it. We're going to make a right triangle like this. All right? All right, so we have this length right here is the distance between the x values. So I'm going from 2 to 6, so there's 4 units. So this is 4 units. All right? And the vertical line, I'm going from y is 1 to y is 4. So that's 3 units. All right? So we get 4 across and 3 up. Now to find the distance, we can use Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. We have 4 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. 16 plus 9 is c squared. This is 25. And then take the square root, we get c equals 5. Right, so you can see the distance between those 2 points is 5 units. Okay? So this gives us a way to figure out a formula for the distance. All right, so let's say that I'm going to take this grid right here, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, let's say I have 2 random points on the coordinate plane. So I have this point right here, I'm going to call it x1, y1. And this point right here, I'm going to call it x2, y2. And I want to find the distance between these 2 points. Okay? So what we're going to do is make a right triangle. Right? Now the distance horizontally is how many units you go from x1 to x2. Okay, so basically you just subtract x2 minus x1. Right? Like in the example above, if you do x1 is 2 and x2 is 6, if you do 6 minus 2, you get the 4. Okay? Same for the y's. You subtract y2 minus y1 to figure out what this vertical distance is. Right? Pythagorean theorem tells you you're going to square this, so x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared is going to give you, I'm going to call this d, it's going to give you the distance squared. So to figure out the distance, you take the square root of all that, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So this is called the distance formula. And it comes from the Pythagorean theorem, just working with the right triangle. Okay. And you can memorize it, or you can have it on a formula sheet. Or, if you like, you can sort of graph it every single time and do it like we did in the first example here. But it's a lot quicker to just use the distance formula instead of graphing everything.